Welcome to Furious Fiction. I'm Jules Graham, and with me is Mark Mustian. And Mark, today, short stories.
Today we have Aimee Bender. She's the author of The Color Master and other works, and this is just a wonderful collection that's just come out. And Aimee, welcome. Thanks for being with us on Furious Fiction.
Thank you for having me.
Aimee, I don't really read short stories very much. I could not put this down.
Oh.
It was so fabulous. I don't know how you do it, but you sort of lull someone into a false sense of security and then just hit them with something crazy ideas coming out of your head.
Well, and what I was telling Jules is that this is, I just appreciate how kind of daring you are and willing to kind of go for it here. And we were talking about before the show, which story stood out to you the most? And there are different ones for different reasons. The one that made me the most uncomfortable was the one about the woman with the two men that kind of start making out and stuff. And so that was...
yeah, and mine was the tigers with the two sisters, because, and I could picture everything, but I didn't ever expect them to split open. I didn't ever expect the tigers to split open. It was bizarre. Did you have a normal childhood?
I mean, I did have a pretty normal childhood. I have a very creative mom, so I think we were very encouraged to kind of play around imaginatively a lot. But yeah, and it's more kind of trying to cultivate that dream place where the images are sort of stark and interesting, but strange.
Well, you succeeded.
Thank you.
What period of time were the stories written over? I mean, was this something did these stretch over a long period chronologically or shorter?
Yeah, about 8 years, because my last collection came out in 2005. So it's been stories that I've accumulated over the last 8 years, and some literally 8 years ago, and like the last story in the book is the most recent one. So there really is a kind of span of writing throughout the book.
And when you're writing a short story, is it clear to you in the beginning that it's going to be short? I mean, could it turn into a novel, or you already have decided this is going to be a short story?
Usually it feels like a short story because there's a different pace with the short story. Things can happen like in the course of a paragraph. A lot of time can pass, and that doesn't happen as much with the novel. A novel kind of stretches time. So it'll be like, let's linger in this moment and take our time. And with the short story, I think there's a push forward for I guess a kind of quickness that can happen. And so generally they feel like stories to me. I haven't had that experience where a story will happen and I'll suddenly think, oh, this really could be a novel. That hasn't happened to me yet.
Go ahead.
I would love to see a movie of this, a short to go with these short stories, because
that'd be great.
Wouldn't it be fantastic? Because there's so much imagery. It's just really wonderful.
I hadn't thought about that, but that really is a good idea, because you can kind of visualize all of these and kind of in a an image type setting. So it's to your credit that you can make all that work on the page. And
what's going on in the future? Anything that we can talk about?
I mean, not yet. I mean, basically the next project will probably be a novel, but I don't know what it'll be yet. But it would be very fun if someone made a film of any of these. I think sometimes short stories lend themselves to films better than novels, because there's little nooks and crannies that can translate to film more easily.
Well, just in the last couple of minutes that we have here, so you're a new mom with twins.
I am.
3 months old, boy and girl, two girls, two boys?
Boy and girl.
Okay, great. Well, congratulations. And
thank you.
Are you able to write? Were you able to write through the whole pregnancy? And how's it working time-wise?
I mean, I really have worked on a very strict schedule of 2 hours in the morning for 17 years until now. So even at the end of the pregnancy, I was too distracted and I couldn't do it. And the last 3 months, I've written maybe a paragraph. And I'm very interested in routine and writers' routines and how you kind of find time to write and what works for each writer. So it's definitely going to change. I can't do 2 hours in the morning for probably 5 or 6 years. So I'm interested. I'm kind of curious to see what's going to shift and how it's going to change style, and how, if I'm writing for 20 minutes, at 9 at night and then I fall asleep, what's that going to be like as writing versus the morning time that I've had set for so long. So,
well, Aimee, thank you so much. Wonderful short stories. I'm going to follow your work closely. It's really quite a pleasure reading this. And we'll see you next time on Furious Fiction.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, Aimee.